Once again, save your work. So Control S. Now when we look at this worksheet, I realize that the column width on columns A, B, C, and so on doesn't look right. Part of the text is being cut off. So what I could do is change the column width of each column individually. I could point in here and make that column wider, and then here, and so on. Or, faster than that, is to actually select all the columns that I would like to have the width be changed. So I'm actually going to do it on the whole thing. So I'm going to point at the column header A, B, C, D, all the way to J. Now notice that I didn't point inside the cells. I pointed at the column header. That way I'm telling Excel that is the whole column that I want to do something to. Now once you do that, if you point and double click in between any of the columns, it will automatically find the best fit width for all those columns. So I'm going to point in here and go click click, and now notice that everything here fits, in here, and so on. Now let me undo what I just did, Control Z, and let me just do it with the first three columns, A, B, and C. And I'm going to double click in here. Okay, that's what the book wants us to do. Now the book wants us to change the width of column H. Now when I point to the right of the letter H in the column header, and I point in between H and I, and I click, it tells me what is the width right now. Now they want us to pick 99 pixels, which is 10.22 points. So if I click in here, notice that it keeps on changing until I go to 99, and I let go. I'm going to double click on to the right of column G, okay, for federal tax. And I'm also going to select columns D, so I'm going to click at D. Okay, I'm going to hold down the Control key and select column E, and then I'm going to select column J, and I'm going to make the column width for these three columns 75 points. So if I point right here, click and drag it to 75, now I just changed all three together. Now the same way that I can change the column width, I can also change the row height. So if I point right here in between rows 2 and 3, okay, actually in between 3 and 4, and I click over here, I can change the height, okay, of this particular column, of this particular row. In this case, I want to make this 64 pixels. So I'm going to scroll down until I get to 64. And now I just changed the height of this row. They also want us to change the height of row 14. So I'm going to look in here. And this one should be 36 pixels. So I'm going to click and bring this down to 36 pixels. Once again, save your work, Control S. Okay, so I'm just going to click anywhere in here to take a look and see how my work is looking so far. Just the same as in Microsoft Word, you can have Excel also check the spelling of your work. Now let's say by mistake I typed in the wrong thing for employee. So I'm going to click at employee, and I'm going to make it so that it reads OL employee. Okay. Now let me go to the beginning of the worksheet. Control Home. let me go to review, and then I can click spelling. So now it found the word employee. Okay, it says maybe you meant to say employee or employees. So you pick the one that is the correct spelling, and then you say change. Okay, now we found this people's last name. Now there's nothing wrong with this people's last name or first name, so I'm just going to ignore once, and again ignore once, and again, and again, and again, and now it tells me that there's nothing else spelled in here. Click OK. Now I also look in here and I realize that I missed the capital M in the title. Now that's not a spelling error, but I need to make the correction. So I'm going to click at cell A1. Now notice that cell A1 is actually now cells A1 through J1 because I merged and centered those cells. Now I can then click in the formula bar and make my correction and then hit enter. Another thing that I want to do is to rename this particular worksheet in this workbook. So I want to call this biweekly payroll report. So I'm going to double click here and type biweekly payroll report. Then hit enter. And I'm also going to change the color in here. So right click, tap color, and I'm going to pick one of these browns. Okay.